Making a pizza is an incredibly enjoyable and deceptively complicated experience. You might be tempted to pre purchase dough or pick up a rolling pin, but making it with your own hands is what really makes the difference between a good pizza and an okay pizza. I've been working at Dion's for 2 years and I'm going to show you how to make a pizza the right way. Just as a side note, it's going to be very important that you flour everything as much as possible. Otherwise, the dough is really not going to cooperate with you. Here, before I start, I'm just making sure that the dough ball is a circle. It's hard enough to keep it a circle if it doesn't start out as a circle. First, you have a dough ball. The dough ball should be light and fluffy. If it's hard, you won't be able to stretch it with your hands. First, you flour the dough ball completely, and then what you're going to do is create the crust. It's the most important step because it determines what your crust is going to look like. You want it to be even throughout, but most importantly, when you're pressing, you want to push as hard as you possibly can. This makes the dough next to the crust thinner and gives you a really well-defined crust. In order to make it as evenly and circular as possible, you want to push down with both your index and middle finger, and just go from 12 to 9, or 12 to 3 if you're left-handed. And then turn the dough, repeating until you've gone all the way around. You want the crust to be about the thickness of a Sharpie. When you cook the pizza, the crust expands and it will be the perfect size. Oftentimes, when you finish this step, you'll have a well-defined crust and then an indentation next to that. But then the dough ball still rises up right next to that. This next step gets rid of that. What you do is you pick up the dough ball vertically and you pinch it just below the crust, feeling where the dough is still thick and thinning it out with the help of gravity. It's important to do this rather quickly to avoid overstretching the dough and causing it to lose its circular shape. After that, you should have a perfectly defined crust and a thin section next to it. So what we do is we just slap the dough back and forth between our hands to make the middle the same thickness as the outside. It's important to not slap too much because it'll quickly become too thin in the middle and that'll screw up our final step. The final step is where you get to add your own personality to it. What you're trying to do is just evenly spread the dough to a larger size while keeping its shape. This can be done in a variety of ways. I prefer to lightly toss it along in a circle and letting the catching motion and gravity spread the dough. Other people like to cross their hands under each other and stretch the dough as they return their hands to the resting position. This is also where you see people doing pizza tricks, where they throw it in the air because when you spin it in the circular motion, it causes it to spread evenly. Then, when you get the dough to the preferred shape, you lay it down, bottom first, away from you, and there you have it, the perfect hand-tossed pizza crust.